Hey, let's talk this week about the formula for creating wealth. Hey everybody, Randy Gage here. I want to welcome you to another episode of Prosperity TV. I'm coming to you from San Diego at home, and I want to talk about this fascinating subject, which to me is a very simple, very straightforward process, but to some people seems really profound, seems really out of reach. But I think that's just innocent ignorance on their part, that they don't know what it is that really creates wealth. So how you really create it yourself, and it's like I said, it's pretty simple, but it's very profound when you understand it. So what does that look like? What is the process like? As far as I'm concerned, these are the most important things. First and foremost, you decide to become wealthy. That's a decision. And it's not as simple as you might think, because for me, this was for 30 years, this was the thing holding me back, because I was still holding on to being a victim. Because that was the mindset I had. I had entitlement mindset, I had victimhood mindset, and I always saw myself as one of the good poor people, the little guy fighting against the big evil corporations and companies and governments, fighting the forces of evil. And if you're not willing to let go of that victimhood, then you can't make the decision to be wealthy. So be willing to let that go. This is very similar to, it's actually implementing the vacuum law of prosperity. And if you haven't seen that video, scroll through the channel and you'll see that there on Prosperity TV. But you're actually applying the vacuum law of prosperity, because you have to release being a victim in order to become a victor. So the first part of the process is you have to decide, I really do want to be prosperous. I want to be healthy. I want to be happy. I want to be harmonious. I want to have the money thing out of the way. I want to live well, have a beautiful home, beautiful cars, beautiful clothes, beautiful trips, enough time with the loved ones in my life, spiritually grounded. You want and decide that you're worthy and deserving of all those things. So that's very important foundational thing. From there, it gets really, really easy. That's the biggest part of the process. Once you make that decision and you really say, "Wow, I deserve it. I'm going to go for this." Because then, how do you create wealth? There's only two ways wealth is created on this planet. Way number one is to solve problems. Way number two is to add value. See, people pay to get problems solved. We like to think that we want money and everybody wants money, but that's not really true. If everybody wanted money, they would keep money. But notice, nobody keeps money. As soon as they get money, they trade it away for something they want more than money. A new car, a new house, tickets to the Rolling Stones concert, whatever it is. As soon as every Friday they get paid, and then they rush and trade that money for the things that they really want. And one of the things that people really want is to solve problems that they're facing. They will joyfully, lovingly, gratefully crawl naked over broken glass and throw money at you if you can make a big enough problem go away. If they've got an abscessed tooth on a Saturday, they don't look for bargains and early bird discounts and coupons. They're just looking for a dentist who has emergency hours, who will meet them at the clinic and fix that abscessed tooth and make that problem go away. If you have an earache, saying you just want a doctor who make it go away, you're not looking for what's the cost of the coupon, you'll gladly trade the money that they request to make your problem go away. We'll flip that around. How do you create wealth? You look for, how can I solve problems? What are any of the problems in the world? How can I help solve any of them? Including the guy across the hallway has a dog and he goes to work in an office and he needs somebody to walk the dog during the day. It can be as simple as that, or the new idea that, wow, I'm going to create Uber for people who want to get a private car and driver and don't want to mess around with a filthy old decrepit taxi that might or might not show up. It can be anywhere in that equation. Same thing with added value. Why Amazon.com and Uber and other really disruptive technologies have done so well is because they add value. Like bookstores, I love bookstores. I'm an author. I have a bookcase there filled with hundreds and hundreds of books. But reality, I buy most of my books on Amazon. They added value to the process. I go on, I read the thing, I click it, it's one click, it's automatically, they got my credit card, they got my address, it's there in a day or 2 days at the maximum. They added value to the process. So again, you flip that around and say, how do I add value to any system, any process, any business, any whatever, organization, event? How can I increase the value to this? And then if you can do them both, if you can find somewhere where you can add value and solve problems, man, it's a slam dunk. Fascinating thing, I was talking with my buddy Nolan, we were talking about prosperity and making money and all that, and we both kind of believe something that I know this to be true. I think you could make at least $100,000 a year, like here in San Diego. I think you could make $100,000 a year walking dogs. I think you could make $100,000 a year washing cars. And why I bring it up, Nolan is my detailer. He has friends that they do like hail damage, and they follow around thunderstorms, and they make $500,000 a year just going around after thunderstorms, fixing the dings and the dents in people's cars after hailstorms. Other people do that with roofs for, they follow a hurricane or a tornado, and roofers, and they go where the problems are. They add value and they solve the problems. And you take the simplest little things, and then you do the last part of the equation, which is implement the concept of leverage. Because if you just trade hours for currency, you can make money for sure. You can get your needs met. You can make at least $100,000 a year in almost anything if you solve problems and you add value. But if you're still trading hours for currency, you've got the limitation of 24 hours in a day minus the time you need to sleep and eat and take care of the kids and all your other responsibilities. So when you practice leverage, that's when the cap comes off, the glass ceiling is broken, and you can create as much wealth as possible based on how big are the problems you're willing to solve, how much value can you give. And if you haven't seen that video, there's another video on the channel, creating wealth through leverage, and that talks about leverage in very specific ways. If you haven't seen that, or it's been a while, go back and watch that one again. So that's it. I mean, it's making a decision, then you say, how can I solve problems? How can I add value? And how can I apply the concept of leverage? Put those things into practice, and you will create wealth. Let me know what you think about all this. Get down below, share your comments. If you're watching this on Facebook, as always, please share it in your stream. If you're watching on YouTube, please like it and click all those share buttons down there and tell the world about Prosperity TV. Until next week, peace, love you guys, and live rich. Hey, don't forget, next Monday, same bat time, same bat channel, got a new show, and you won't want to miss this one because we're going to talk about dealing with debt and how we do that from a prosperous consciousness. So we'll talk about that next week.